Hi! Merry Christmas in July, as my Christmas in July continues. I want to remind you that this catalog does start in August 4th. So if you don't have one and you have never bought from me before and you're in the US, just shoot me a message on Facebook or YouTube or on my website, wherever it is that you're watching. And if you are on any of those places, go to my website and sign up for my email list. That's the easiest way to always make sure that you're getting all the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information, including like my monthly classes and my monthly thank you gifts and all the specials and things that Stampin' Up! Has going on. So it does start. You should have one if you're already my customer because I mailed them a while ago. So that's coming. And then I do have the holiday try it class that goes with this. So you'll get the supplies to make 10 cards, private videos where I show you how to make all 10 of them. They all have a template. So each of them is designed around one of the new papers, and then each one has a new ribbon. They all have a new embellishment, and then some of them may have a new die cut. Some of them may have a new punch. So each one of them will come with a template that you can then follow along with for the rest of the year, or for forever, as you make cards in the future. So with today's project, it's a little bit different. What I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the 4 Unto Us stamp set, but then I'm going to use a bunch of mishmashes. Excuse me. Because sometimes when we're making cards, especially right now, if you're starting to get going on Christmas cards and you don't really have a design, you may have a lot of stuff laying around, because that's kind of how my Try It classes, when I do it, the retired one at the end of the year, it just uses up all of the stuff that's retiring. So everybody gets a little bit of different stuff. And I have several of these things sitting around because this is like offcuts from, and I don't know why I kept these. I think my husband put them in here because I had, dozens and dozens of these, and they do have adhesive backs on them, but you can tell from my Try It class, and I threw them away when I ran them through the die. So I think this is the last that he needed, that when he helped me run some through, but everybody got the globe in the brass paper with adhesive. But you end up with all these offcuts, and sometimes it's just too pretty. I guess he thought because it had adhesive and it was shiny that I might want to keep it. But you just have little pieces of stuff laying around. And so, as you're starting to think, how might I design my cards? Or you might just want to have a little stash, like for the postman, or if you take them out and you want to just brighten somebody's day and give one to the grocery clerk or drop one off at your doctor's office. And the other thing is, this year, if you have extra time, you may just put on your Facebook page or just let people know that you make cards, because a lot of people, I know a lot of you make them for your husband's offices or for your office. And people, if you're up at the vet, you may say, I make handmade cards. Would you be interested in having me make you some? So you might not be a millionaire from it, but you may afford the new embossing cut machine. You may get a couple of $100s to offset what you want to buy. So these kind of cards can come in handy for that, because they don't have to be designed, thinking of your dear grandmother, but they can just be kind of generic cards. So for this one, I'll kind of show you what I did. This may be one, that I just give to somebody when I'm out in the store. I keep them in my purse sometime. So you may have already seen this one. It's really popular. It's in the pines. So I'm going to use the dies from it, a die from it. So if you've seen this card already on my channel, the one die I'm using today is the one die that I did not use when I made this card. So this is the card, the bundle, but I'm not using the stamps out of it. And then on the background of this was the one I posted yesterday, which is this beautiful evergreen forest 3D die. So you can see how they all start to tie in. So when I ran this through, I did run the die that I am using today, and it's been laying on the table. So I was thinking, how could I use that? And I did want to let you know, there are cards posting. This is the day before. This has nothing to do with that, but keep checking, because there's tons of dies up there. And then a few days ago, you may have seen that I did this card. So when I do these cards, whenever I do any of these, and I like my frames to have depth to them and not holes, because you can get depth and not holes. So you can go back and watch this video if you want to see how to do that. There's going to be a lot of checking back on this one if you want to see different steps, because I'm not showing you all on this one. So when I do this, it gives me a scrap. So I have, along in this little scrap buckets that I keep, you know, these are really pretty little tins that they give us. I often have a bunch of these because I've run them through. So the other day I was with my girlfriends and we did a Facebook Live. So I made this tag with one, and you have seen me use the bow punch now a few times. So this, I did a 3D. It's nice and sturdy. It would make like a pretty wine tag or just a tag on a gift bag. You could put it through the handle. So this is all new stuff. And I have a little box I'll be showing you in a couple days, and I'll show you how to do that tag. This is new ribbon that you would get in that Try It class. So I have this stuff just laying here. So, you know, let's design a card from your scraps. So I'm going to use this because this saying has been, I've had so many people message me. This tutorial's just been up for a couple hours, and I've already gotten several messages on where I got this stamp. So it came out of this stamp set. So I thought I'd use a card from your scraps. So I'm going to use this because this saying has been, I've had so many people message me. This tutorial's just been up for a couple hours, and I've already gotten several messages on where I got this stamp. So it came out of this stamp set. So I thought I'd use it again just so people notice it. I'm going to use a new paper pack, and I just opened it for this card. It's called Plaid Tidings. So it's nice because it's fall and winter, so it's got all kinds of color schemes, but it could also be all year round. You know, it was all I could do not to stamp my buffalo plaid on the back of the card because I really wanted to, but I was trying to go for simple on this card. So this is a card also for those of you who have stuff. If you are a new stamper, it's kind of expensive because I've pulled in lots of things I had laying around. So it's not a newbie card. So I've pulled out this piece of paper mostly because it was on the back and it was the first one I saw. So I just went with that. So let's go with what I did. I have cherry cobbler because that's what the color's in this. And then let me tell you, when I folded this in half, and I just cut this so I could layer it and just have a little bit of the cherry showing here. And then I went to flip it over. I was very, very sad that I'd chosen this piece because the black and white's my favorite. So this is my Seal Plus. I don't need Seal Plus for this card. I just need Seal. But I would not have chosen this piece of paper if I'd known the black and white was on the back. Sometimes you should check the back of your designer series paper to make sure you're not using one of your favorites. I haven't cut it exactly right. So pull my little mini trimmer over here. I just wanted it to cover the whole thing. Oh, I have dimensional things everywhere. They get staticky in the house, and then I brush my table off and they stay. So the mini trimmer is available for demonstrators, but I have a way this month that you can get one for free. So if you're interested, go to my website. So we just got this nice little layer here. So then, like I said, let's use some scraps. So I have this. It is from the Ornate Frames, I think. And then I have all this brass paper. So I'm fairly certain, because I did save pieces that were, I don't think that has a sticker. Let me see if we have this sticker stuff. The new doesn't say Sizzix, but this is my scrap. So let's see if I have a piece that's big enough. Oh, here's one. So this has the sticker already attached. I have lots of videos where I use it. So if you don't know how to, then ask me and I'll give you a link to one of the ones where I do. So let's pull our machine over. I'm going to run them through separately. You could probably do them at the same time, but I don't want to worry about my tree moving because I want it to be centered where I want it. So you just lay this on here, and that will make my little Christmas thing be a sticker. This is one of the new plates that if you have this machine, you can order the plates that are currently in the catalog because they work with it. And then they'll work with the new one as well. So pull that little sticker out. And let's shove this up here because I didn't want this to move. So that's why I wanted to do them so I could concentrate on this not moving. And here's the tree, and this is from the In the Pines bundle. I'm going to put it towards the top. So I have room to stamp at the bottom and center it as much as I can. That's why I didn't want it to move. The tree's not exactly straight, so it won't be exactly from edge to edge. So it just takes one roll through. The more you roll things through, the more cuts you put in your plates. So if it's gonna work on one roll, then don't roll it anymore. And you can see this cuts out fine with one roll. And because I already had all those, you know, if I'm just trying to make cards to use up stuff, I might as well use stuff that I have laying around. And then this will just fall out. They can join the dimensional trash on my table. And then I have this stamp that I said I was going to use, the Christmas Begins with Christ. But you can see I already have the word Christmas. So I'm going to go with my marker, just the Stampin' Write marker in Cheri Cobbler. And I'm only going to ink, this is old school technique, only ink the Begins with Christ. And I'm going to let my die cut be the first part of the stamp. So if you have any of these stamp sets, this comes from, I'll link it to the bottom. I am starting some new migraine medicine. I am weaning off the one that makes me forget my words. So if my migraines get worse, I will go back on it and I will lose my words again. But I'm tired of not having my words. So we're going to try something else. I'm going to pull this down where I can see better, because now I can't remember the name of that stamp set. And I do know it. I can see it in my head. It won't come out of my mouth. That's why I always link them below. So now we have the Begins with Christ. I'm going to take the Star Designer Elements, which are in the annual catalog, but they're copper. And, you know, I just did brass. So I thought about pulling out the copper paper when I wanted to use these, but I thought, no, I'm showing you how to work with your trash. So just take your blend, and you can do it in the green, or I'm going to do it in the cherry. Any of the colors really that are on our paper will work. And the blends, okay, here's the deal. The blend won't stamp on the stamp, and the marker will not color the star. So you do need both. That's why I said this isn't a card if you don't have anything to start with. This is for those of us that have accumulated a few supplies. But you could color it any of the colors on the paper. And we'll just let that dry a second. I'm going to take some of my dimensionals, get some more backs on the table. I know if you stamp that you find those little dimensional backs everywhere. Like you can be out for dinner and look over and have a nice elegant black outfit on, and there on the bottom of your pants is one of these little dimensional backings. It's just the life of a stamper. I used to have a little thing here on my table, and I would throw them in it, and that lasted about a month because I didn't throw them in it. And even if I did, if my cat hopped up here or, you know, the fan turned on or something, they still ended up everywhere. So it just wasn't worth the effort. So it's easy to get this on here nice and straight because of all the lines working in your plaid. I haven't pulled this out yet because I don't want to lose the top to my eye. So just leave it until you're ready. And I still have enough of this scrap. I'm going to throw it right back into my scrap bucket. Especially because it has this adhesive on it. Now, I've made sure to note where the top of my eye ends up. And then just take your pick tool, because these little things that have the adhesive are the best things to have the adhesive on, because it's so hard to get something to stick on here. But you kind of need something sharp to lift it off. You want to make sure that your eye isn't going to hit. It's going to hit somewhere where you can put it on paper. So I have just enough room to stick the dot. And then over here, I'm going to try to get you have to just, if you just slide it off with the take your pick tool, because trying to get your adhesive on these, even glue, it's all smudgy. This is not smudgy. And then it just sticks right on there. It's so much easier. So those adhesive back sheets there in the catalog are fabulous. And just grab my star. And stick it on the top. So when I first made this card, I thought with the plaid, it feels, you know, warm and fall and kind of masculine. So if I was really going to make this for somebody's office and it was, you know, if you wanted it to be a little bit more masculine, maybe don't do the ornate frame. Maybe get one of our stitched rectangles or something that's a little bit lacy. And then it would be a little bit more. And you could just do a Merry Christmas if you were going to go a little bit more of a generic holiday. There you go. Super simple. Just used up, you know, if I worked on using my scraps, I could be sitting here for the next 5 years. But it does use a little bit of stuff. And then you don't feel so guilty throwing things away. Although, I'm sorry, honey, some of this stuff is going to have to go. And some of these things I think that I could use. And I don't know, maybe he thinks I'm just so dang creative that I can come up with some way to use the offcuts from my I guess all of these little things. Maybe I could do moons or something. I don't know. But, you know, my husband hates to throw things away, as evidenced by his garage. But whatever, that's a different story. But there you go, way to use your scraps. So think about maybe seeing if there are people in your life, if you have extra time because you're not going to the movies and you're not going to a ball game and you're not going to an amusement park and all the things you're not doing. I know we all love to craft, we love to color, we love to do this. Find a way to do to fill what you're not doing with what you do love doing. And if you can make a little bit of extra money while doing it, that would just be all the better. So you just put something on Facebook and say, hey, this is what I do. Can I do it for you? So if you have any questions on how to do that, I'd be happy to help you. Have a great day. Bye.